This video is brought to you in part by Boutique FDB for all your miniature painting needs. Hey there everybody, I am Rob the Easterling, and today I'm going to be painting Thor from Marvel's Zombies. This guy's not a zombie, he's one of the superheroes. He's primed with a matte white air primer because we're going to be using some contrast paints on this hulking miniature. Alright, so we're starting off with a little bit of Gulliman flesh now for his face and arms and hands and those muscular arms. The details are really going to pop with this contrast paint. And I noticed that the contrast paint works really well over the air primer. You know, usually you should be using Gray Seer, Wraithbone, or White Scar, or whatever it is, or Corax White, you know, something from Citadel, but the air primer is working great for contrast paints and speed paints. So it's another good alternative and a lot cheaper than a spray can. Nasdrag Yellow now for his boots. Again, another awesome miniature. This one was a less flimsy being attached to that base, you know, with the problem I had with Scarlet Witch. I was seeing possibly with, who was it, Captain Marvel. Anyways, this one seemed to be a little bit sturdier on the base there. It didn't look like it was going to fall off if you dropped it on the floor or whatever. So again, great job from Simon Games on these miniatures in this game. Having bases already done with all sorts of cool textures is just a plus for me. This is amazing. Keep it up, Simon. All right, a little bit Luxian purple there we used on his pants. Now we're gonna be using some Iron Jaws yellow and really give him that blonde hair. But as it was drying, it was getting a little too like fluorescent yellow for me, so I did a little something to it off camera, but I'll mention that a little later on when I'm using that shade to give it a little bit more oomph. He's got a nice beard there. He's got his eyebrows too. Just put a little bit of that on there and it'll just give it a nice little contrasting coloration there. Snakebite leather now. Now this is the only critique I have of this miniature, and it's what is the name of, is it oh, what's the name of it? Stormbreaker, right? Is the axe, and he's holding Mjolnir right now. And I'm using it for the handles, but the handle of Stormbreaker looks so flimsy. It looks like a stick or a twig. Like they could have given a little bit more detail, a little bit more height to it. It actually follows the base like a perfect like snake-like pattern. That is the only critique I have to say about this miniature. It's just awful. Like that to me looks horrible. It looks like just a stick that just melted on the ground or something. Some Blood Angels red now for his wonderful cape. I will add a little something as well off camera because I didn't like the way it dried. Again, it's more of a flat surface, right? In contrast, and speed paints aren't really great for flat surfaces. We might see the brush strokes a little bit more. There's less details to do. So technically, I should have just put a red paint, like an acrylic paint on it, and painted the whole thing red and added a wash to it or whatever. But again, when you're trying to do speed painting and getting it over quickly, you're using the contrast paints, hoping it's going to do the job you want it to do. It's not always the case. So, you know, go with your best judgment. If you want to follow along what I'm doing, or if you want to do your own kind of thing, go right ahead. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do on your paint jobs. I'm here to explain what I did and what might make your life easier. That's why I'm here, and that's why you watch my videos, and that's why you're going to hit that like button down below many times. Everybody's going to hit that like button. All 4,000 viewers of this video. All right, 4,000 viewers. Doubt it, but anyways, Black Legion now for a few parts here. He's got like these knee pads. He's got all his like skirt here or whatever, or like the part of his big shield, not shield, but like his clothing, like the rest of the clothing. Again, so Black Legion seems to cover a little bit more than doing a contrasty kind of thing. It's very dark, so Black Templar would have been a better choice here probably. But I wanted to go to dark, and even the Luxian purple is a little too bright for me, a little too light. But again, you can change that. You could add, what is it? There's a purple shade there you can use. You can use that if you want, or you can put Nuln Oil or something anyways to darken it down if you want. I didn't do it. I left it as a nice bright purple. I was like, you know what, makes it look a little bit more comic booky, more interesting. It kind of brings attention to it a little bit, but that's fine, you know. And then I'm putting this black everywhere, by the way, even like parts I'm going to paint over after, just so that I make sure I get all the little nooks and crannies, all the details, and making sure that there's nothing left over of white and all that underneath. And the back here of this miniature is so hard to get to, so be careful. You might almost have to start painting with the stuff in the back just so you don't hit anything else, which I did. But you can come back with some matte white, just cover it a bit, and then repaint that area. A little bit of Seraphim Sepia now. We're putting this on the entirety of the base. I just wanted a very light coloration of the base, and the shade is a great job for that. It gives it like a sandy look, and this is the color I put on his hair as well off camera, and it actually goes into the recesses of the hair, making it even look more like a dirty blonde and just like pure yellow. And I find it did a good job just highlighting the hair even more. A little bit of lead belcher. We're going to be putting this on Mjolnir there. We're going to be putting on Stormbreaker. We're going to be putting on the mighty Thor's helmet. So I'm wondering if we've got reference to Jane as Thor here with the mighty Thor helmet on the ground. Why is he holding Mjolnir again? He should be holding Stormbreaker instead. Maybe they would have done a better job having Stormbreaker in his hands than on the ground the way it is. And you know, Mjolnir on the ground would have been looking maybe nicer. I don't know. Would have been interesting to see what they could have done with that. But I like the fact that they always put like a little something on the ground for each of the miniatures in this game. Well, especially like the main here, like the superheroes. Okay, they don't appear often, the superheroes on the table, compared to, you know, the zombie heroes and the bystanders, and of course all the enemies there. So anyways, and again, if you're enjoying these videos, please hit that like button. All right, so there you have it. Thor is painted and ready for the table. If you have any comments about the miniature or how I paint my miniature, please leave a comment down below. And you can also join my Discord. I will put the link in the description. You can come and share your work with me, talk about miniatures, talk about anything else, even video games, board games, find some memes, anything you want to do. Take a look at that. Come join and have some fun with us. Or you can always become a member as well and get some awesome perks. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.